Emergency. Queen's Quest arrived. Emergency. Queen's Quest arrived. Emergency. Queen's Quest
down to the queens.
Hello, ladies, gentlemen, everybody inside and outside of the gender spectrum, and welcome back to Stardom Quest Gold, the best weekly Stardom and Marigold podcast anywhere in the world. I am, as always, Alex, and I am joined by Dylan. Hi, Dylan.
Hi, Alex. Hi, everybody. I'm sick and tired of this bull crap. No, I'm just actually sick. I think my niece got me sick, but I'm chilling. Another week, another weekend of house shows to talk about, and a Korakuen to talk about past tense, and the Korakuen to talk about coming up. So, yeah. I just called you a negative Nancy. I hope you know that. I texted it to you.
That is
Yeah.
mean.
But it's
I'm
true.
not
I
negative.
think it's not mean enough. I think you are more negative than the name Nancy uh lets on.
I don't think so. I feel like you were also quite crusty when you want to be. So I
You
feel
know,
like calling me that is very unfair.
I actually vanity searched our name, like our
Oh,
podcast name
please,
on Reddit,
please, stop,
and
stop,
we have
stop,
gotten we have
stop,
gotten some
stop.
accusations of being haters. No, I'm not stopping. But yeah,
Oh,
because of that,
sure.
I've started a initiative to be less negative. When there's
What's
nothing
the
nice to
long
say,
last?
don't say anything at all, and
Okay,
that's why I
sure.
will be silent for the next 2 hours.
Okay, yeah, that tag has followed us since the very beginning. It was always too critical of Stardom, even when there was only a Stardom to talk about, and now it's
That's what I
somehow
always
worse.
felt, but yeah, people definitely are like, "Oh, the Marigold split changed them." I saw one word for word comment that said that. Uh, and I knew it was talking
That's a
about me. It
bar,
wasn't
though.
talking about
That's a
you.
bar, because I have definitely said that to other people about Stardom. So that is a bar. That's incredible. Whoever came up with that one, good on you. Anyway,
Unfortunately, that is a bar.
yes.
Yeah.
Head on over to the 5-star-network.com for
Yes.
all the latest articles and podcasts, and head on over to the 5-Star Network YouTube channel, which is where this and Actress Stage and No Limit Wrestling all go up. It's a new month, so No Limit Wrestling. What do you got?
What day does Mako retire?
23rd or something?
Then
20th?
we'll do a Mako episode this month.
Sick. Okay. They went very
But
quiet on that. You would think the
if
Yoyogi show was a retroretirement because like
That's
nothing has
what I mean.
really
That's why I
happened
was kind of
since.
confused. That's why I was kind of confused. But no, I think what we will probably do is we'll do a retrospective episode a couple days after her retirement. So we'll probably review
Mhm.
her retirement match and then, five of her best matches in the past. Don't know who will get on for that, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah, Beth. And then Beth
Could
Rhea
get Beth.
Miko
That'd
thing.
be fun.
Mako. Yeah. Anyway, we shall see. But yeah, with that, let's get on to the show. We're gonna start with Marigold, not because they ran first, but because they ran Corkin, and that kind of jumps them ahead of the line. It would be a good.
Before we get into the show, I'm a bit slow. I'm sorry. I'm not on my game. Did you read my article? I'm putting you on the spot.
I did not. Won't lie
Bad
to you.
friend. Bad friend. Bad
Yeah,
friend, 5 years this biz, and a
I
bad
kind of
friend still.
forgot. I kind of forgot you put it up. I won't lie to you.
Well, everybody else should not forget because it is available now at rightdylanright.substack.com. I put my heart and soul into it, but apparently that doesn't matter to some people. It really took a long time, and I worked really hard on it. So I would appreciate you guys reading it and subscribing, whether for free or for money, because I would like money. I need a PlayStation controller adapter for my PC. Um, so I could stream SmackDown versus Raw on
sounds
yeah,
beast.
yeah, it would be fun. I probably wouldn't stream that. I'd probably stream like Tony Hawk, uh, or something.
Now you'd
But
have to do you and Xavier playing GM mode or something.
we
Surely,
did start playing GM mode. Me, Scott, and Xavi. We put in
of course.
an hour on 2007 and then 2 hours on 2008. 2008 we forgot is just completely broken.
Yeah,
Uh,
2008 is not good. The nostalgia about
I,
that game is
no,
not.
I replayed it like a couple years ago, and like I didn't hate it, but it wasn't very good.
Yeah.
But the thing about GM mode is that it doesn't matter how popular your wrestlers are, how good your matches are, anything. The the fan support is completely RNG, which
Oh.
you know like it legitimately we had like 4.5 star matches, and Raw had like two vacancies and a couple 2.5 matches, and they got like 50,000 in support, and I was like, that's not how
Yeah,
that works.
it's always been like that for the PC. It's always been in favor of the AI like really heavily, and
Mhm.
it's kind of broken. That's why when they brought it back, I was like, most of you do not remember how bad GM mode was. Come on.
I don't really love the new version because we kind of we started thinking we
Yeah,
should move
the
on
new
to
games
new
stuck.
version.
The new games are awful. I really
I'm
must
not
say.
crazy about them.
Yeah,
Um,
2K
but
stinks. So it's how it
but
goes.
yeah, so I'm going to stream video games if somebody subscribes, if people subscribe to my Substack. Um, so do that, please.
Sorry, Scott's last one.
Oh Jesus,
It's so funny.
this is
I'm sorry.
terrible. This is terrible audio. Let's just move
Anyway,
on.
Marigold wrestles outside of Marigold. Nanai, right? um,
Yeah.
Nanai wrestled on the ice ribbon cork on the 29th of March. There were almost more wrestlers on the card than there were fans in attendance, sadly. And it was Hamako Hoshi, Hanako Nakamori, and Makoto beating Nanai, Totoro Satsuki, and Yuna Manase in just under 11, no, in just under 12 minutes. I was planning to watch that, but then I ended up watching all of
Then
T Hearts instead.
you
So
realize that there was like 20 people there, and we're like, ah, if only 20 people saw it, can't be that good.
yeah, it
Oh, I
it,
actually
it
did watch this.
didn't.
I watched half of it. I watched half of it. I jumped in right as it was like halfway through. It was fine.
Yeah,
Yeah, it wasn't anything
that sounds
crazy.
like most Hamiko Totoro matches in the modern day. But
Mm.
that's all right. That's all then for Marigold Wrestlers. That's it, Marigold because they don't do nothing else. Um, so let's go on to Marigold's
Well,
Korakuen.
no, not necessarily, because well, that's not for another like month, so never mind. Yeah, yeah, necessarily. Let's go.
Okay. Um, We have on March 30th at Korakuen Hall in front of 911 fans, the Marigold Spring Victory Series Korakuen. This is their third highest number at this building since starting in last May. Basically, just up there with Fields Forever and the Julia send off show. So, pretty good. I Obviously, this was a Sunday show, so you're gonna get more people, but I would also credit Marvelous a lot. I don't think people realize Marvelous has been a hot ticket since the Dump show. Like their
Mhm.
first couple of shows after that were packed. And Marvelous doesn't announce numbers, so nobody ever really
And this
talks
was
about it or
also
tracks it, but they have been
Marvelous
a
doing
hot ticket.
something. Like,
That
like
too.
I
The Senka has definitely Senka and
really
Sora
like
have
what has
revitalized.
Takumi been doing? Like really, like she hasn't really been like positioned to do many notable gimmicks or stories recently. I mean, I guess the Maria they kind of cut that too. Like I think the beauty of Marvelous's like involvement here is that it gives them direction that sometimes Marvelous doesn't have, which is kind of
Yeah,
like Marvelous's bread and butter. I mean, they didn't have a championship for like 6, 7, 8 years, something like that.
yeah,
Um, and in a lot of ways, we're better for it because they could just kind of do whatever. Uh, so like they're a bit, I think, giving advertising like Takumi Iroha and Senka Akatsuki are fighting against people that they are rivals with, and this is going to be a serious shit. This is high stakes. It gives Marvelous fans something to be interested in, to sink their teeth into, and
hmm
it obviously brings Marigold fans a bit more passion. See what
but
I did
yeah.
there?
All right, well, let's get into it. Hummingbird made her return to action alongside Riara to beat Nagisa Tachibana, also making her return, and Ryoko Sakamura in 5.5 minutes. Hummingbird got the win for her team with a roll up
Euro
thingy,
clutch, Euro
a
clutch.
Euro clutch. And it was okay. I thought Ryoko looked a lot more comfortable teaming with Nagisa than she has
Mm.
basically since her debut. Like she really fit in next to Nagisa pretty well. Hummingbird still does not do moves. Very fascinating wrestler. But yeah, that was all right.
Yeah, I mean, it was very hummingbird coded because it was like not much happened and then it ended and it was like,
Yeah.
oh, I would have expected like one or two more things to happen at least, but that's the hummingbird.
Yeah. All right. Minami Yuki and Rhea Seto beat Celine Flora. The team of Kazuna Tanaka and Victoria Yuzuki. Rhea Seto rolled up Kazuna in 9.5 minutes to get the win for her
She
team.
does Waka's roll up, but better.
She does. Yeah.
Yeah,
This I like this. I thought
that was
Kazuna
good.
leaned into her shithead tendencies, especially when she was against Rhea. Minami Yuki was kind of there, but the team of actual stars definitely I thought carried this one.
Yeah, I
Also,
like what
Rhea
they're doing.
Seto, very good, very
Yeah,
intense. I
I
like
was
I
gonna
like
say I
seeing
like what
Rhea.
they're doing with Rhea. They clearly are kind of like positioning her as a step above, and they have been a step above like the rookie core. And
Mhm.
they have been. She wasn't in the rookie tournament at the end of the year last year,
Yeah.
because she is more experienced than that, and she is like a step above that. And because talked about that they are classmates, like they debuted around the same time, so like putting Rhea closer to like that level, closer to the Kazunas, Yuzuki's, and not so much Sari because Sari's a bit of a different animal, but closer to the young core. Um, they'll be the end of the days, and yeah, I like that, and I'm happy that she's getting a Superfly title match because I think that is exactly where we should be going with the Superfly belt is with people like
Yes.
Rhea Seto, because she's lighter and
Guess Sari just is not getting her match.
yeah, I'm guessing the ship just sailed on that. I'm sure
Yeah.
it'll happen eventually. Maybe we'll see. I
Who
would love
knows?
if they did that on like on one of the bigger shows. I feel like that would be
Yeah.
an easy one, but also I feel like they probably have more structured ideas for Sari on the bigger
Yes.
shows,
Probably.
so probably won't happen.
As you said, Rhea Sato afterwards challenged Victoria Yuzuki for the Superfly belt.
Mhm.
Yuzuki carried herself like a real dickhead. I
As she
quite like the
does.
side of her. She was like, "Go ahead, I'm gonna retain," and she walked out with her belt. And I was like, "You know what? There's a power move and a half." Um,
Kazuna also said, "You know what? Fuck that being the best tag partner for Yuzuki. I want to beat Yuzuki." So that's
oh
probably
yeah,
going to be afterwards is Kazuna versus Yuzuki.
it's pretty chill. Um, there was something I was gonna say about it. Oh yeah, they haven't said when the match will be, but I'm pretty sure they're gonna main event first ring because that's kind of the last
Mm.
show before they do anything of note. There's no point in holding off Rhea Seto versus Yuzuki for Korakuen when Yuzuki has a match at that show
She's in the
anyway.
main event.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. So probably first ring. We then had Darkness Revolution. Chiaki and Misa Matsui beat Chika Goto and Natsumi Shizuki. Matsui gets probably the biggest win of her career over Shizuki in this one in 10.5 minutes.
Yeah, we
And
forgot to talk about it last week. We kind of just, excuse me, we kind of were just like, oh yeah, it's another one of these matches because this is pretty much the lineup they keep doing. Um, Misa Matsui's whole thing at like the presser was that she is retiring from being Natsumi Shizuki's rival. She is graduating from Natsumi Shizuki. It's over. She's done. She doesn't want to fight her anymore,
okay,
and she won. Like that was the bit. Is that it's like after this Natsumi Shizuki over. Don't care. In my past, out of the way. I'm beating her. I'm moving on. So that's what she did. And yeah, so I think the finality of it and like the firmness of it definitely made it bigger than her previous wins over Shizuki. She's pinned her a few times, um, in tags, but I felt like this was a lot
this
more
is the Korakuen one.
firm.
Korakuen is
She
where it
beat.
matters.
She also pinned her in Korakuen a few months ago. Uh, the Mirai Misa tag was her pinning Shizuki. Um, you're just forgetful. But
Yes. Because I remember
yeah,
I
so it's
wanted
like
her to pin Shizuki in the first tag after turning, and then she didn't. And so I was like,
no.
oh, okay, I guess not. But then she did
Yeah, no,
here,
she
and I was
she
like, oh,
she
okay,
pinned her earlier this year,
all
in
right,
Korakuen. But and that was to set up her versus Yuzuki, who she lost to. And then, kind of had to regroup from there,
yeah,
and she joined Darkness Revolution. But
she
so
did.
now
They
she
do a
has
dance now.
yes.
Jackie
Yes,
and
I do.
Matsui, they did a dance.
Matsui needs to, get a bit better at it, but it's okay. I like it. I'm a fan.
Yeah, we got to stand the dance. It was an okay
Chiaki
match.
my goat. I really liked it. I think
Mm,
that uh Chika and Natsumi work super well together. And I also think Chiaki and Misa Matsui work very well together as well. I think Misa Matsui is just great, frankly. And
Oh yeah,
Chiaki is a good
Misa
tag
Rock.
wrestler. Um, so I feel like every time I see Chiaki, it's like, man, if you were just like a bit better, a bit more well-rounded, you would be
Yeah.
like legitimately great.
Mm-hmm.
But for now, she's just a solid tag wrestler, which is fine. That's pretty
Is
much
what
all
she
they want
is.
her to be right now.
Yeah. No, Jackie has definitely got the goods. She just isn't there yet,
Hmm.
and maybe never gets
Like,
there. I don't know.
like
I don't really know
legitimately,
if
it
Darkness
is.
Revolution has room for that many people off
Yeah,
the top.
I don't know. But it legitimately is just like a few percentage points all around that she could
Mm.
just like get a bit better, and then she'll be like a legitimate, very good wrestler. I think because she
Yeah.
has the charisma to sell me that she's a good wrestler. She just needs a little more of the physicality. She just
All
beat
right.
the fuck out of people. She would be like the best.
Well, that's most wrestlers, in fairness.
Yeah, true.
Um, but our next match was Chanyota, Miku Iono, and Mirai beating the Darkness Revolution team of Megaton, Gigaton, and Nagisa Nozaki. Um, yeah, it was okay. I
That was
guess I
a
don't
solid
need
match.
I don't need two comedy goblins on the same in the same match. It just they completely eat into each other as they did here. Um, and I don't really like it all that much. And the babyface team kind of tried to carry a little bit, but it just I don't know. It never
See,
really
I have
caught them.
different. Oh, hi, Molly. I have different opinions. I thought it was good. I thought that like the Megaton stuff was not, but then I thought Now did well, and I thought Nozaki and Mirai did great. And then near the end, I thought Mirai and Now did well as well, or Gigaton, whatever. I thought that they did fine. So I didn't think it was like a great match, but I did think Mirai. I think the babyfaces saved it, and Nozaki, and I thought Gigaton was like funny enough for me that I was like, yeah, this was solid.
I guess. I
Like I
don't.
don't
I
know.
disagree,
I
but
think I
I don't know.
think yeah, I think we just have differing opinions. I thought
Sadly,
Gigaton.
Gigaton appears to be here to stay because she has like proper gear in the Gigaton
Yeah, yeah,
format
that was the
now.
problem.
So
That was the problem.
yeah,
Because
Ogawa, what the fuck are you doing? That's
I don't know.
that's
I
all
I
I have
also
to ask. This company makes me go, "What is this man doing?" Like,
I don't know. This is
consistently.
more. I think this is more me being more forgiving and for no reason because I don't like this. Don't get me wrong. But devil's advocate, if Naoshikawa so easily got replaced as Nanai's partner and nobody mentioned it, I have a feeling that they just have no forward motion with Naoshikawa until probably a few months from now at least. So until then, oh, she's very over as like this comedy character. Let's just run with that so that her regular character doesn't lose steam by just continuing to be a loser. Um, because you could separate the two in a way. So
Mm,
I get the idea behind it, even though I don't like it because now Ishikawa should be doing more. We need more wrestlers on this roster doing more, and now Ishikawa is the perfect example of somebody who can, um, and she's not. And I think that's the problem. But I don't think fundamentally, I understand why it's like, oh well, Gigaton kind of protects now because now's just gonna lose, so this isn't now. Who cares? Like that's like the idea from a gimmick standpoint. I don't like it, but I get it, and I think sometimes it's funny, and I think sometimes it's kind of shit. Um, this time I thought it was kind of funny, so I didn't hate it as much. Though this would be all much better if like Megaton wasn't around right now, and
yeah,
Gigaton like took her spot to be like the clown for a few months, and then Megaton came back and Gigaton was no more. I think the double is the problem I have more so than
yeah. You
now.
can't really eat into each other the way they're doing.
And
Like
to be fair, I do
you
think
need
now is
differences.
trying to separate by being still more athletic and still wrestling, and by using more gimmicks. Like
Mm,
Megaton just does the kind of like, oh, I'm not very athletic, and like that's part of the joke. Whereas Gigaton has like 7 different gimmicks, which feels like a parody of itself. I think that's kind of funny to me. Um,
okay.
so I also I think there's a path where and Megaton don't eat into each other and don't stink up the shows by both being present. Um, but I think that path would take too long. I would
Yes.
much rather if they just didn't do it. You know what I mean? That's where I'm at.
Yeah. Get rid of it by Dreamstar, and just go
I
again.
yeah, yeah, definitely.
That's that's
I
all.
think by the summer, by August, September, this should not be a thing.
Okay,
If not
I
sooner,
agree.
ideally, like in a couple months.
Um, we then had for the Marigold United National Championship, Mai Sakurai defeats Erina Yamanaka in just under 12 minutes to retain the championship. I thought Arena gave a really good account of herself here. You could really see the full potential of what she can be. It's just about getting her in for shows consistently enough to meet that. Like she's not going to wrestle like this consistently, working twice a month.
Mm.
You need to get her in and keep her in rhythm, and she can get even better. But like what we saw from her here, I thought was everything you could ask for. And Mai
I thought it was
Sakurai
beast.
really toned down her stuff to fit that 12 minutes. Mai Sakurai usually likes her grappling for like 5 minutes, but she just went nope, headbutts, and we had a bloody
Yeah,
nose, but within
I think
30 seconds.
my proving she can do sprints was very important.
Yeah,
Um, because this was a sprint and it was perfect. It was perfect in that role. And I didn't think she could do it. She did it. I love my Sakurai proved me wrong. It's one of my favorite things of 2025. It's one of my favorite things of Marigold since its inception. It has
yeah,
been my Sakurai proving me wrong because even though I've been a big fan of my Sakurai, I've thought she's been one of the best wrestlers in the company this year. One of the best champions in like one of my favorite champions in general. I still was like, I don't know. She's wrestling down against, well, not down, but she's wrestling against somebody who isn't very experienced, is a bit rusty. She's wrestling in a shorter match. I don't know if she could do it, and she did it. I really like this. This was just another great, def- great, yeah, maybe a step below great. I don't know what that would be. Tiny step below great.
very
Uh,
good.
yeah, a very very good title match from Sakurai. Her third of those, and the
Hmm.
fourth being like a great match, legitimately against Miko Ano. So shit, shouts on my Sakurai.
Hell yeah. They definitely worked it very snug, very stiff. Kind of
Arena was
was
bleeding like almost immediately.
literally after 30 seconds. Yeah, it was crazy. And a lot of the boots as well were very like you could
Hmm.
tell they were making contact. Like those big boots were not gentle. That's definitely the kind of thing that separates it when the next two matches never really went that stiff. So I think they really managed to stand out from the rest of the show by kind of working this as snug as they did, and they just carried the action straight start to finish. So I thought they did really well with the
I
12 minutes.
wasn't
It's probably the most memorable match of the show.
I wasn't crazy about my also, you're fucking crazy, first of all, that last segment. I don't think that my not getting a challenger, I didn't love that, but I also think Chikagoto is gonna pin Mai soon. And also the Korakuen, Mai's out of commission. Yeah, that Korakuen is a throwaway. Isn't that crazy? That they just like they said,
Yeah.
we're not doing anything on the next Korakuen, by the way.
Well, the last time we thought that they ended up loading it up, so I'm not.
I don't
I
know
don't want to
how
write
else
them
they can
off
load it
yet.
up. Except for like Mio Homono comes
Uh,
back 3 months early.
Another number one
Uh
contenders match and another marvelous match probably, and you might be halfway there.
I mean, I love both the tags that they're running there. But when, both the tags have every single champion in it, uh,
Yeah,
it's kind of difficult.
that
And
that is
Mirai,
fair.
who's also like the I guess Miku can do something cool. I think Miku is kind of the
Yeah, you can do Miku
person
in
who
a
needs to be
in
in
a
the
number
third
one
match.
contenders match. You
Her
know.
versus Chikagoto, I think could work for a number
Oh
one
yeah,
contenders match for the United National.
yeah. I wouldn't rule it out. Um, but yeah, I guess we get on to the next match, which is the one everybody has been talking about for the Marigold Twin Star Championship. Nanai Takahashi and Saori Yamaoka beat Senka Akatsuki
Hmm.
and Takumi Roha in 25 and a half minutes. This is a very good tag match. I thought it definitely had its moments that really lost me, and so I haven't really gone as high as most people. I think Sari specifically had her moments where she kind of either forgot what was going on or like lost her footing at really key moments. And when they were focusing so much on Seri, she kind of had to be perfect, and she wasn't. And I thought Senka completely just blew me away in comparison. Like Senka's
Yes.
approach to wrestling seems just so much better than Seri's. Her training seems better. Like she just was insane. And then Seri was like falling over herself. So
I I
uh,
uh, I think you
probably
just hate
harsh, but I
Sari.
think when you're in there with
Yeah.
Nanai and Takumi and Senka, you are gonna look bad if you forget stuff and like fall over. So I do think she just wasn't able
I don't
to
know.
quite
I
make
a
this time.
lot of what you're like criticizing, I just saw as like selling, a bit overdone selling, maybe.
Mm,
Um,
I don't know.
because like there were several points of this match where I was like, oh fuck, did she hurt herself again? And I think
It's a bad thing. I don't know. She
she
messed
kind
up
of
her own
she might have
submission
looked.
thing. She couldn't get the leg lock thing in properly either, and I just went, "Oh,
Oh, and
this
then
is
she
not
just
her day. This is not. This is
yeah.
not her
No,
day."
I don't know. I think when you're in there against Senka Akatsuki, I think the messiness works, frankly, because
That was one of the most insane hit pieces of copium I have ever heard in my life.
no, legitimately. Like I think just like I didn't see it as like actively like, oh, Sari doesn't know what she's doing. Uh I saw it as like,
I
oh
wouldn't say
yeah,
that,
she
but she like
messed
quite
that up
clearly
a little
would
bit.
forget, yeah, or like lost her footing. So
Like and she immediately saved it, got Boston Crab in, which was a better submission for that moment anyway. Like I don't know, I think
mm,
I am more forgiving on things like that, especially when the match calls for it. And I feel like a lot of this match did call for it. I mean, Senka's thing is, I pin you down to the mat and try to win. And I think that's awesome. And I think that inherently, it kind of is like, I think Sari kind of had like one of those off days for Shizuki, where it just kind of felt
yeah,
like, oh, like you are looking at this match differently than the other people in this match. Not necessarily in a bad way, not necessarily like, oh, you're completely, just not clicking at all. Like there were moments where they obviously clicked super well, and I thought those were really standout moments. Um, I loved the opening grappling, for example.
yeah,
God,
no, that worked.
I can't
Their
talk about it
showdowns
for very
worked.
long. God damn.
They paired up very well throughout the match.
Mm.
They did do enough of each pairing to kind of make it work. Senka really got to stand up to Nanai, which was incredible. Like that's something we've only really seen
That was
Yuzuki get
badass.
to do. Takumi and Nanai was good, but they've definitely done
They
better.
could have done way better, definitely.
Yeah, I think Takumi missing her big forearm. When she got slapped and like took 10 seconds to reel up, she didn't hit that properly, and that was meant to be the big like closing part of the stretch.
Yeah,
Um,
that was a bit because I don't know. Takumi's interesting in
She
that
was good
like
with Seri. I thought, putting
yeah,
her as the
yeah.
bully with Seri was very good, but her and Nanai definitely didn't roll it back to seedling levels. But that was okay. I think they
I think the
worked
star of the
mutually
show
well enough.
undoubtedly was Senka Akatsuki, and
Oh,
that's not
totally.
surprising to me because from literally not even her debut match against Saori, which was good, but she had a match against Mio like a week later, and I was like, holy fuck, like this is like a different animal
Hmm.
completely. And ever since then, I was like, this isn't just like, oh, she had a good match with Saori in her debut, whatever. But like this is a legitimate top dog coming in. And then this match, best of her career, best performance. She outshined, two legendary wrestlers of the past, 15, 20 years. And she outshined the other super rookie in the scene right now. That's huge. Like that's great. And she did it with not that many moves, being a very conservative wrestler, all good things considered. She knows what she does and she knows what she does well. Um, and she did everything to perfection. So I would agree that she outshined Sari tenfold, but I don't think Sari did poor enough to where I was like, oh wow, like this is like, this looks bad on Sari. I was too busy focused like, oh, Senka's doing fucking insane and Sari's doing like cool. Like, yeah, she these two stylistically work together. Like Sari's doing her job. Um, that's how I kind of saw it more so than a negative on Sari, but I'm also the positive one on these sorts of things. So
I also didn't love Seri pinning Senka. to
I
win.
didn't
I
really
don't know
either.
what else you can do, frankly, in this position,
You
but
could have had
Seri
an
has
I pin
no
Senka.
Seri needs
I
something. Senka should be like kryptonite of sorts, and they
Nanai
should run with
should
that.
have been Senka. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna lie.
yeah,
I
I
think
would
that
have
would
gone
have been
with that.
smarter.
Like, I understand this is Rossi Ogawa. He's probably gonna put Seri's probably winning the red belt within like 9 months. He's gonna do what he does, but he's
I
really
think she
gonna
wins
run
it
into a big problem,
next year, maybe first stream of the next year of
possibly.
27. But
Like,
yeah,
he's
by
he's going
27,
all in.
she's winning
So
it. Yeah,
I was not a fan of her beating Senka, but yeah, I guess that's what you have to do.
it is difficult because he kind of ran so many draws already that it's kind of like fuck. You can't really do this as a draw, even though
Yeah.
functionally it probably would have worked best from a thematic standpoint
Hmm.
if this was a draw. Um, but yeah, so I agree. I don't think Senka should have lost Sari here. I think that should have been a bigger thing. Plus, I mean, are probably running a singles match, so
Maybe,
this
possibly.
going to a draw and then Sari wins there, sure, whatever. Like I think Sari beating Senka here was a bit, eh. But I
Yeah.
also, they not to dwell on it, but also this is like my favorite match of the weekend, so I am gonna dwell on
Mm.
it. There weren't many other great matches outside of the one we just talked about. To be fair,
T Hearts had two.
I didn't get to watch it yet.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's your fault.
Yes,
I like
but
the angle after. I really
yes,
enjoyed that.
but first, something they sold online was that after this match, Sari, much to kind of proving your point, said that this was the most depressing match he's had, uh, because she just felt like a failure despite winning. So she probably felt how you feel about
Yeah.
herself in this, um, and that's kind of also, also the guy after the match was like, Senka, you're a fucking beast. This is you're fucking dope. Like, and so I imagine that didn't make Sari feel much better.
um, but yeah, the angle
Angle
afterwards,
afterwards, yeah.
yeah, very good. Marvelous and Marigold kind of squaring off once again. Gives a
This
lot of
time
those
it
other
was very
members of the
funny.
roster something to do, but Takumi wanted none of the Chikugoto shots. Chico's in there, and Takumi was like, "Hey,
Oh
listen,
yeah.
listen, listen. All right, I'm not. I just
Who,
wrestled. Leave me
did
alone."
did yeah, didn't she like get a takedown or she's like, "Wait a minute. What the fuck?
Yeah.
I'm not trying to do all this."
It
It
was
was kind
funny.
of fucked because Magenta was challenging for the Oz belts at the same time.
Ah,
Or not Oz belts, the 3AW belts somewhere in Oz
yeah,
is what it
they
was, I
were
think.
wrestling in Oz, yeah.
Um, or yeah, something like that. And so it was just Aroha, Aihozan, and Sora because Senka was kind of dead. Like she
Yeah.
got her ass beat, so she was kind of on the floor most of the time. So and then the entire rookie core of or not rookie core, the entire rookie roster of Mario just beating the fuck out of them. It was kind of crazy.
Yeah, it was a very funny image, but it got them the heat back because
Yeah.
it was immediately like, all right, let's go round two, let's fight. I thought
And
for a
then
second they teased the singles with Takumi and I, but I don't know.
no,
I don't know if they have time to
they
confirm that.
teased the Senka Sari singles, and then they said next time we're gonna do it on Marvelous's turf in
Oh,
Cork and Hall.
hmm.
Um,
When
which
are they even running
I
Korakuen?
think that's early May, May 5th.
Oh, I thought they didn't run till August. Hmm,
No, they're doing a
oh,
Cork in May.
that's
Um,
cool.
so yeah, it's a bit away. I love this story so much, which makes it a bit sad that we're
Well,
getting an
Marigold
entire
isn't
month
running.
off. That's
Like
the thing.
they have like
That's
three
the other
shows
thing.
all of next month. And last week I said, why are they like, do they have such a gap? And then I remembered they were meant to be in Vegas, so they didn't book venues for
Yep.
like 2 weeks because they were meant to be in Vegas. So yeah, they are
Which
only
is
running
funny
like
because when
three
you think
times
about it,
before the nice
they
show.
if they got ahead of it, and they didn't realize that the visas would be a problem, uh, if they got ahead of it, they would probably do decent numbers because nobody's in town.
What do you mean?
Like
Oh,
like
in Japan.
everybody is going to Vegas.
Yes,
Like half the
yeah.
Japanese promotions, in fact, most of the
Like
Japanese
if their
promotions that
Korakuen was
are
like
notable.
a few days earlier, you mean?
I mean,
Because it's on the
fucking
25th, maybe. If it was on like the 21st or something,
yeah.
or
If it was
20th.
yeah, exactly. They would have probably done a good number because like Marvelous even is in. Vegas. You know,
Yeah,
like every company is in Vegas. They could kind of, monopolize the weekend. Uh, but they didn't. So that's a bit
I did
of
not.
a shame on them.
Uh,
But yeah, no, that's true. That was kind of why I realized is that it's like, oh wait, yeah, I don't have to wait that long. It's just that nothing's happening for a month.
Yeah, well, they
In
might
March.
be on the next Marigold Cork, and I would imagine they need Marvelous to fill out that card, which was kind of the point when we first pitched Marvelous helping out, was it would
Mhm.
help the lower stuff. So yeah, I would definitely get them on
I
there
would
to
love
help.
an I hose on singles against.
Sure.
I miss Naho Yamada. That would be my go-to.
Yes.
But against like
Okay.
Rei Seto would be based.
Yeah, I would imagine it'll be a tag or something, but
I
maybe they won't. Maybe they'll do a series.
know.
But that
Second
was
angle
tags.
afterwards.
Oh, they did too.
Uh,
Wow.
yeah. Uh,
Yeah, the
Misa
Chiaki
Matsui and
and
Chiaki
Matsuri.
came out and started
I
saying
thought
like,
for a second they were gonna join the war. They were like, "Marvelous, huh? Marvelous," and then I went,
yeah,
"Oh, okay."
I didn't think they were gonna join the war, but I did see them kind of like lurking, and I was like, it would be really cool if they started beating the fuck out of Marvelous too, because they have mentioned that they want to beat the fuck out of Marvelous, but they just
Yeah.
haven't because they're heels. Um, but yeah, so they come in and uh they go, I could feel the passion from the ring. I just had to get involved and I actually want your belt. And then I was like, yeah, I'm busy till I retire. I'm not defending these belts no more. And they're like, the fuck do you mean? You can't just do that. And then Sari's like, no, no, Nanai's joking. We'll take on the challenge. And then they're like, yeah, you better bring your passion. Misa and Chiaki did that. They were doing they were mocking passion. I thought that was really
Yeah,
cool.
well, I have a point about Misa, but I will wrap it into the next match, which was
Jesus.
for the Marigold World Championship. Utami Hayashishita defending against Bozilla in 19 minutes in a fairly good match, but definitely a lot lower than most people would have expected.
Mhm.
Um, it was. I said this on Twitter. This is like Utami not even wrestling her style. She's trying to do a Mayu style because she was like taking neck bumps and doing the dying babyface thing.
Yeah, I don't.
And it was not the usual Utami performance at all. It was like partially Tam coded, partially
I don't think it
Saikamotani
was Tam
coded,
coded.
partially Mayu coded. Like
Yeah,
she was not wrestling her own match here. It was
I
very
don't think
weird.
that's like this is a very like Utami's a bumper. People don't remember that, but Utami's a bumper. She's a seller. That's her bread and butter. She's way better at
She
that than
loves
she is
a
at
different
anything.
dynamic. She likes the 50-50 dynamic. And this wasn't that.
Yeah, and I
This
think
was literally Ace dying babyface stuff.
yeah, no, I agree. I but you say that she likes the 50-50 dynamic. I don't think that's fully true. I think that's just the style she wrestled in 2021. Uh Pretty
But it's
much.
the style she wrestled in the tournament last year and in the Sari match.
And I think this was different because Bozilla demands something different. And I think that's fine. I frankly, and again, this is me. People will probably laugh at me for this. I blame Bozilla mostly on this being not as great.
Dude,
Uh,
no.
I also I thought Utami bumped her ass off for Bozilla trying to make her look
She
great,
did, but then she
and
didn't do anything with it.
I
Like,
also
that
don't
was the
think
weird part.
Bozilla did enough with it either.
Mm. I guess, yeah.
Like I think I think frankly, and I talked to Peps about this specifically. I don't think that they frankly buried Bozilla enough. Bozilla should have died here. Like she should
Why?
have
She's on
because
shows.
probably not for another probably for another couple months maybe, but I don't think she stays like past the year point. I don't think she stays past the anniversary. Um hell, I don't know if she stays past uh Mania weekend.
Well, she is
She's going to
on one of
America.
the posters, isn't she, for afterwards? So,
Yeah, and Tam's on the poster for Golden Week, man. Like what are we talking about?
yeah, but, like, Tam is technically not retiring. She might retire.
Both Tam and
Technically.
are on those posters.
Yeah,
Uh
but that's
Mayu
part of
also
the
on those
gimmick.
posters. Everybody is on those posters. Who may or may not be there.
We
So
lost
I
Mayu. We really lost Mayu. Crazy world.
yeah, well, Mayu's staying. Obviously. She's staying
Okay,
in the company. If you look at the date, she's obviously staying.
fair.
Um but that was a double entendre. It doesn't work
Right.
because it comes
Sure.
out in the second.
Yeah.
So,
Listen, I'll
um,
just do my
but
thing.
no. Point being, now I lost. Where am I? What the fuck,
I
man?
don't
Bozilla,
know.
Bozilla.
You've been on some weird points here today. I don't know.
Bozilla. I don't think Bozilla's staying in the company much longer. This is probably her
Right.
last big singles title match. Utami should have slayed the beast a lot more definitively. It should have
Yeah.
been more of a. I think it should. Funnily enough, it should have been a 50-50. It should have been Bozilla dominating early, then Utami really bringing it back, then some 50-50. It felt like it was just. It was very one dimensional of Bozilla and then Utami. It was a gradient from Bozilla to Utami, and that wasn't very satisfying. Um, I think Utami should have pushed it to a 50-50, and they should have really like thrown some bombs against each other, and then Utami overcomes. Like that's what probably should have happened. Whereas it felt like as the match went on, Bozilla got less offense and Utami got more, and that was it. And then Utami just won. Um, and I wasn't crazy about that.
They should have watched their John Cena Umaga tapes because
Would have been lovely.
Utami lifting Bozilla at the end should have been something that they set up a lot more, but they just didn't. So yeah, they really need to get those John Cena tapes in, and Umaga because
Yeah, I don't know.
he
I
was that
thought that
dude.
I don't know. Utami's tough. She's in a tough position
What a
of
weird
her
wrestler. I cannot
not.
believe she won the red belt and was like, "Let me do 2 dying babyface performances."
I
Wow.
don't think this was her choice though. I don't think that Tank and
There
Bozilla
is
were the
no way
two
Bozilla
wrestlers.
has that much sway to say, "I'm going to wrestle 50-50 with Sari and Nanai, but
I don't know if
not
you
you."
know this, but wrestling companies have bookers and people who want matches
Rossy
to deliver certain things.
literally adores Utami. He would want her
Yeah,
to run through this woman. I do
I
not
don't think
believe
so.
this
Are
was Rossy.
Bozilla?
He let her go 50-50 with Nanai and Sari. What would have been the harm of Utami going 50-50? Only Mirai really ever sold for her, and that was like a complete departure. So,
And I think that was kind of more of the template was the Mirai match, and
but
I
I
don't
just
think
don't
this worked
think I'm
as
just
well as the other ones.
surprised
Well, no,
that this
yeah.
was how Utami went, and that is all.
In
But
in hindsight, I do think this was pretty much on par, maybe a little bit weaker than the Mirai Bozilla match. Uh,
yeah, no,
and
I
they
mean
were
it was
pretty
good.
much the same match,
Yeah,
like
no,
when
I
you
don't.
actually think about it.
I wouldn't say it was
Uh,
bad. Like I agree, it was a good match, pretty good. Like Utami's performance was very good in the selling department and her comebacks and stuff. Like it was not a bad match. It just wasn't what people were expecting. Um, what I did hate though was that throughout this show, Darkness Revolution just came off as second rate hate, down to the ridiculous beatdown to start this match where the referee turned around for 2 minutes while Utami got stomped on. Misa Matsui doing the over the top anime voice that Saya Kamatani was doing. Like as soon as she got in the ring to talk to Nanai, I went, "That is Saya Kamatani. That is literally
that's
the
it's
Kamatani playbook."
completely
And
different.
the spray can from Gigaton, which just looks like Konami's spray can. Like
That had to
throughout
have been a
this
parody.
show,
I'm not gonna lie. The
they
dust,
just
the
stop with the
powder and
copium.
the
Stop with the
no,
copium.
the powder
They
and
are
the spray
just
paint had to
hate.
be like this is a joke.
They are
It
like
couldn't. That was
alternative
okay.
color hate. They are like when you pick a wrestler and they have like a second gear choice, that is Darkness Revolution. They are the second gear choice of hate. They are very much of the same ilk, basically. And throughout this show, they were just mimicking hate. That was it.
And hate is mimicking every other heel Joshi faction that's ever
Yeah,
existed.
but this is
Like
this is literally a company spawned from Stardom. It's going to look worse when it is the guy who left Stardom after creating it. Like it that is why I bring it up. They look like a second rate hate because this is a company that is a lot smaller than Stardom,
okay,
started by the
but
same guy, and is
you
currently
do understand that hate looks
mimicking
like a
their
second
hottest
rate
act.
House of Torture, and Team 2000X looks like a second rate House of Torture because House of Torture is the only definitively over heel group in the country right now. Like they are the only heel
You
group
continue to talk
that
down
people
on hate.
actually hate.
You do not accept that hate is that good or
They're
popular.
not as good as House of Torture, and like they're not as over as House of Torture. So
But yeah, but
they are a
nobody's as
second
over as
rate House
New
of Torture.
Japan. That's a bit silly. They're never going to be as over as New Japan. That is men's wrestling versus Joshi. Like it's a completely
No,
different
it's
conversation.
completely different. No, you can easily say that Neo Genesis is more over than fucking United Empire. That's easy. Obviously.
I
Like
guess.
just
I
on a
just
one
I
to one
just was
level.
not rocking with Darkness Revolution on this show. That was all. They just came off as hate but worse, which is not what you
I
want
I see
from
them
Marvel.
as Oedo Tai, but worse, frankly.
I
I
don't
see them
think they
as
really give me the same vibes as Oedo Tai. Like Chiaki dancing does, but a lot of what they do is not from the same
I think
point
they're
of view.
I would agree with the main event, and I said this already. But I thought that like all of their undercard work, all of the actual matches, I thought worked and were unique from a hate match. Like I thought that they did work that was different. I don't agree that Misa Matsui sounds like Saya Kamatani. I think
Dude, she
that's a bit
literally did the
silly.
face. She did the exact same face Saya has been doing to Tam for like 3 months.
Okay, you can't just judge on that. Oh, all right, man. Point being, I think that the main event was definitely hate bullshit. Like I think that sucked. I thought that the opening spot, I thought Chiaki jumping in the ring and taking the ref out for a spot that
Oh,
really
dude, the
like
referee was in the middle
I
of the ring, and
he
they
was
had
in the
to
middle of the
drag him out.
ring. It wasn't really even a
Oh,
believable finish. I think did she like yeah, it wasn't
the
a
air raid
believable
craft or something.
yeah, it wasn't a believable finish. It just was completely out of place, unnecessary. I thought that sucked. I thought that took away from the match actively. I will gladly say that that was some dumb hate bullshit that shouldn't have happened. Um, but otherwise, I don't agree with your viewpoint on these things. Like I think Misa becoming the mouthpiece for the group makes sense because she is the gremlin who talks well. Like shocker. It none of it feels excessively like rehearsed or overly dramatic even. I think that she just is trying to be a douche, and so she talks like a douche. Like I think there's an effort to do that. In the same way that I think there's an effort for Gigaton to be the most overdone heel of all time. I don't think that that's a hate thing. I think that that's a she literally has 4 different gimmicks she uses to fuck with people. She's a clown. Clowns have gimmicks. Like that is like have an assortment of dumb gimmicks that they use to make you laugh. And in the
She's
case of
not a
Meg,
clown. That's not
she's a
the
fucking
gimmick. They
juggalo.
are
That's what
aliens.
she is.
They are
She's a fucking insane
aliens.
cop. No, no,
Megaton is
she
an alien, and
Megaton
Gigaton
is a
was
Gigaton isn't an alien.
kidnapped and inspired by an alien. She's meant to be an
She's a
alien,
clown.
not freaking
Look at
death.
her face paint and tell me she's not a clown. This is ridiculous. You're a clown. You're being a clown right now. That's what's happening right now. We're moving on from that
Oh.
point. Point being, I can see where you're coming from, but I don't agree. Outside of the main event, I thought the Darkness Revolution was fine.
If Chiaki didn't do the dance, would you still disagree?
Yes, because I thought that match was actively good. I really liked that tag
Sure.
match.
All right. All right.
The
That
the
was an
the Chiaki Matsui
interesting
match.
show.
The other one
That
was just
was
solid.
okay. Yeah, an interesting Corkin. A lot of decent stuff, a lot of good stuff. But yeah, nothing quite on that high level. I
Turns
would say.
out when you put Utami in a title match in the main event of Korakuen, she draws. Shocker.
Yeah, sure.
Draws better
Um,
than the alternatives
I
in the company.
guess. I mean, I
Like
would.
this is the third best Korakuen, you said, yeah?
But I literally said that I credit Marvelous. So
Okay, man.
what? Like they're the hot ticket. They've done well, like since the
But
dump show.
but Alex, a card is made up of several components that matter.
Yeah, but like Utami has been main eventing these shows and not drawn over
She
800.
hasn't.
So
She
like,
literally hasn't. She hasn't main evented a singles match
okay,
in
not a
Cork and
singles
all
match,
since
but is
the
that
Nanai
a
match.
huge difference? Like the tag match
Yes, it's
should
a
have
world
done.
championship match. What are you talking about?
Okay, sure. Anyway, we have two shows to preview, I think, based on the dates. It's 5th and 6th. Yeah. So on the 5th of April, Marigold is in the Kyoto KBS Hall. And they are running Hummingbird versus Nagisa Tachibana versus Riara. Probably another win for the Hummingbird.
Big HB.
Yeah. Rei Seto and Natsumi Suzuki versus Kazuna Tanaka and Ryoko Sakamura. It's probably another win for Rhea.
Yeah.
Saori Yamaoka takes on Yuki Minami in what should be a mauling.
Wait. Oh, yeah, that's fucked. Actually, I
Yeah.
remember that match is happening. I like as you said, I was like, "Oh, fuck, match is happening." I think that could be cool if they don't sugarcoat it. You know what I mean?
Yes, I
Like if they
agree.
just really like go the way they should, that could be really cool.
Um, Miko Ono and Chika Goto take on Chiaki and Misa Matsui. That is probably a win for the Darkness Revolution. I doubt they would have them lose. So Goto stares at the lights.
Potentially, potentially.
Yeah.
I don't know. Goto is in a weird spot because Mai Sakurai is posturing for a Chikagoto match for the white belt.
Yeah.
So I don't know if she's gonna start winning or at least start not losing.
It won't be over
Um,
the tag challengers.
I know, but this could go to a draw. Is my point.
Yeah, you never know with Goto. They either go to a draw with her or she just loses. Like
Yeah,
she's
there's
very
a very
independent.
it's very realistic that she loses, but I feel like with the Mai Sakurai thing, I feel like there might be some sort of build of momentum that
Yeah,
she can lose here and then the momentum starts next week, or this is where the momentum starts if that makes sense.
I get you. Our next match is Chaniota, Mai Sakurai, Victoria Yuzuki, and Utami Hayashishita versus Megaton, Gigaton, Bozilla, and Nagisa Nozaki. Uh, has Chaniota wrestled anybody other than Megaton and Gigaton since making her debut with this
Since
company?
the Mai Sakurai matches,
Yeah,
no.
like that's absurd. Um,
Yeah, I don't know why they keep doing that.
I have no idea. Baby faces are probably gonna win
Yeah.
'cause there's no reason to present Bozilla as a thing anymore. And then we have Passion Countdown. Nanai Takahashi takes on Mirai. Will Nanai take an L finally on her retirement road?
No,
The answer is no. Yeah,
this will go
you're not main
15
eventing.
minutes
Yeah,
comfortably.
it's that eight
Um,
woman tag will main event for some ungodly reason.
and I mean, hey, like frankly, these two could
You have
probably.
said frankly so many times.
It's one of my favorite
And
words.
it
I like it.
keeps and every time you say it, I can feel you getting ready to say it,
Say, oh, okay. I guess I like say it. The word. What word?
frankly.
Yeah, I got that. Frankly, I think that Mirai and Nanai could effectively grapple for like 14 minutes straight if they really wanted to. So it's the easiest 15-minute match I've ever seen. Um, and now that's what's gonna happen. I hope they don't grapple for 14 of the 15 minutes because they need to start killing each other at some point. Um,
Mhm.
ideally, like the last 5 minutes should be just them kind of haymakering. Uh, but yeah, I expect it to go 15. And I expect it to be pretty decent at least. Two
Alright,
trainers, the two trainers of the company.
yeah, hopefully. We have the Marigold Spring Victory Series show on the 6th of April in the Kobe Sambo Hall. They must have made a mistake because they have two matches here that are almost the same. It's Yuki Minami versus Megaton versus Nagisa Tachibana. And then after that, they have Nagisa Tachibana versus Megaton. So I'm going to assume they've just changed
One of those is happening.
the card. Yeah, because Yuki Minami is in another match.
Oh,
So
is it one
maybe
of
they
those
changed the
like the
three-way.
winner moves on to face this person?
No, no. Um, I guess they're just wrestling twice, maybe. I don't know, because Yuki Minami is in two different matches as well
Mhm.
as
Mm.
Megaton and Tachibana. So we're just gonna preview it as it is. I'm gonna assume there's a mistake somewhere. So Yuki Minami versus Megaton versus Nagisa Tachibana. Three-way match. I don't even know who wins. Probably would be Minami if that's what they run.
Yes.
Yes. If they run Tachibana versus Megaton, as it has here, I would imagine Tachibana wins over Megaton.
I don't know about that. Megaton beat Riara.
Hmm. maybe because they. I don't. Yeah. See, it's hard to know how they view Tachibana because she got injured like right away.
Yeah.
So, we don't really know. Then they have Yuki Minami with Hummingbird versus Natsumi Shizuki and Ryoko Sakamura. Um, I would imagine that is Shizuki over Yuki Minami.
It's Shozuki and Hummingbird
No,
or
Shizuki and
other way.
Ryoko
Yeah. Okay.
versus Hummingbird and Minami.
Ooh. I don't know. They like Yuki Minami more than Ryoko, and
Yeah,
They do like Hummingbird.
that's true.
So I feel like that team has more likelihood of winning, but Shizuki could just take anybody out at any time.
That's true. We have Misa Matsui and Chiaki versus Rei Seto and Kazuna Tanaka.
Ooh.
They probably do a partner miscommunication, and
Yeah,
then one of them loses to
I
Matsui.
can see it.
Maybe
Yeah.
Rhea. She'll
Probably
like take the
Kazuna.
fall. Mm, I don't know. We then have Chaniota, Miko Aono, and Mai Sakurai versus Bozilla, Nagisa Nozaki, and Gigaton. Um, God, I hope the baby faces win. But yeah, that's it's probably the stronger of the matches Chanyota's been involved in, because
That
at
sounds
least
like a good
Gigaton is
match.
the more likely to wrestle normally. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Like I said, I truly think that it's just like, oh, we could have Naoshikawa be a pin eater without
yeah,
without getting buried as Naoshikawa. And it's
true.
like, wow, that is such frowned about booking, and I think it's kind of dumb. I get it. So yeah, Gigaton loses.
All right. And then our main event is Utami Hayashishita and Victoria Yuzuki versus Mirai and Seri Yamioka. Holy shit. That's
Bruh.
probably a draw. Like fully
Uh,
a draw.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And that
It's crazy that they're
is
running that big tag match at the Cork at the end of the month when it's like they are doing basically that this week.
yes. So they did set up for the Cork, and Mirai challenged Utami for the Marigold World Championship. Utami said no because Mirai did in fact lose the number one contenders match to Bozilla, which I really like. That is very clever.
Because
And she
she
said you
lost it
have
and
to
she
earn it.
hasn't. It's not like she's gotten anything back. Like she beat
Yeah.
Gigatut. Like it's not like she's done
Um,
anything.
so Utami said you have to earn it. I will team with Yuzuki here, and you can find yourself a partner, and we'll wrestle at Cork. And then Mai Sakurai volunteered to be Mirai's partner. So the likely main event of
Well,
the
Mirai
Cork and
volunteered my Sakurai specifically.
oh right, okay.
Yeah,
So the likely main event of the Korakuen on the 25th is Utami and Yuzuki versus
myself.
Mirai and Mai Sakurai. And I would imagine they do the Twin Star Championship match on that show too. So you'd have Nanai and Seri versus Chiaki and Misa Matsui. So
I know. I
two
noticed
matches already.
the Corkin this past weekend was all of my Sakurai's teammates who don't team together against Darkness Revolution. That was kind of funny.
Hmm. Yeah.
Mirai, Chanyoda, and Miku are like her three teammates.
Yeah. But that is that. We will uh, review that stuff next week and look ahead to the Shinkiba show. I don't know what the Anai show falls under. I think it would be that week as well. But we'll talk about that
Yes,
next
I
week.
think it's isn't it like the 13th or something?
14th, yeah.
Then yeah, it would be.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a bit tough. Well,
Yeah,
no,
it's gonna be
no,
awkward.
it's Monday. It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Okay. But that is Marigold, finito and out of the way, and we move on to Stardom, who have had a very uh full week of stuff as always. So Stardom wrestlers outside of Stardom. Let's get it. They announced for Bloodsport, Maika will take on NXT wrestler Karmen Petrovic. Karmen is a karate background, I
Hmm.
believe, so she is a legitimate fighter. It's also very funny to me because there have now been as many Marigold versus WWE matches as there are Stardom versus WWE matches. So that's
Yes,
entertaining. Also on that show, Natalia takes on Miyu Yamashita, which I mean anybody with a brain knew they were going to make as soon as Natalia was announced for that show. Uh,
yeah.
Azumi
I
will,
think those matches are kind of interesting. Kind of, not
yeah,
super.
but it's Bloodsport, so it won't be. Azumi will be in America early, as we had talked about with the Prestige show.
Who
She's on.
wins between Micah and Carmen?
Oh, Micah. They don't care about some of those NXT girls. Like they lose on TNA all the time. So it's fine.
I don't know.
Yeah, Azumi is in America early. She's on the New Japan US show. She's going to wrestle Mina Shirakawa. That is a number one contenders match for Mercedes Monet's New Japan Strong Women's Championship because Azumi challenged her for it, and Monet said, "Lol, no," which is incredible.
I
Saya
can't believe
Kamatani.
I'm missing an Azumi match down the street.
It's in Chicago. Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, I'm devastated. But the rest of
Saya
the card
Kamatani.
is kind of
I mean, it's New Japan Strong, so
outside
yeah.
outside of, like Takeshita and Tana, which is
Um,
cool.
it's
Uh,
more than cool, I would say, but yeah.
yeah, I mean, and it's the last time Tana's wrestling in America. That's why I wanted to go.
Oh
Uh,
shit. Okay.
so I'm a bit bummed, but you know,
Yeah. It's all
yeah.
right. Saya Kamatani wrestled Hanoka on a Wave show today to retain the Regina Du Wave Championship. Nobody has seen this, and God knows when it will go up because they haven't even got Saya's last defense up yet on Stardom World. Also in Wave, on the 5th, Saya Kamatani is defending against Shinsei Sakura Hirota, which isn't Hirota herself, but she will be dressed up as somebody else. And that is the match we've
Presumably
all been
Sai
waiting for.
Kamatani.
Maybe Babyface Kamatani, or maybe Mako, because she's been cosplaying Mako a lot lately.
Sure.
Also on the show, Tam Nakano is facing Yuki Miyazaki in a two retiring wrestlers going at it kind of match, as Miyazaki is retiring in January.
Yeah, everybody's fucking retiring, man.
Yeah, that they are. Last thing, well, no, second to last, FTBC's next Oz defense has been announced. They will be on a Sonoko Kato anniversary Korakuen, and they will defend against Kohaku and Tsubasa Kuragaki, who is a freelancer with a big staff. No, it's not a staff.
What?
It's the weapon she calls a halberd thing. She's cool. She's very big. Has a weapon.
Kuragaki is a Oz regular. Like she's
Yeah, but
freelance,
she's
quote
not.
unquote, but
Yeah,
she
she's not
she
signed,
wrestles
but she
Oz.
works there a
Um,
lot.
yeah.
And then the final thing is that on the T Heart's 5th anniversary show, we had two different matches. First was Aja Kong and Tam Nakano beating Kyoto Ito and Natsupoi and a team of Ano and Yumiko Hoda. Aja Kong hit a spinning back fist on Natsupoi while everybody else was brawling and pinned her. But then they restarted the match as a 3-on-3 match, where it was Natsupoi, Ano, and Tam beating Aja, Ito, and Hota. And Ano actually got to pin Yumiko Hoda, but only because Aja Kong also hit a spinning back fist on Yumiko Hoda. So Ano finally beats Hota, but it is because of Aja. The two matches were a lot of bits. I won't lie to you. It wasn't the high quality stuff. I have often said that Ito doesn't have the legs anymore, but neither do Hota or Aja, in
Yeah, I
fairness.
was gonna say
So
if
there
we should
was not a lot of
we should
mobility on
all
one team. Yeah, there was not a lot of mobility on one team. So yeah. Um, that show was crazy though, which like Cosmic Angels having the worst match on that show is weird, but also they had like Nori and Maria Koga wrestle on that, so understandable. The main event, if you haven't seen it, is insane. Dash Shizako kicked the fuck out of Kanai so hard she had a boot print on her face. So pretty awesome.
sounds like it.
Yeah. But that is all for Stardom Wrestlers outside of Stardom, to my knowledge. We're on to the news now, because they still have more. The announcement that we talked about last week, we stopped recording, and within 5 minutes, the Tokyo Sports article dropped that Mina Shirakawa would be leaving and heading to AEW. And now we obviously know that Mina is on her goodbye run this week and is headed to AEW. Kind of what we had wanted for a long time. Like, even as a big Mina Shirakawa fan, it was getting ridiculous to see her split her time between the two. She didn't feel like a proper part of Stardom because she would just kind of float in and do a tag, not lose, and then go away again. So this, I think, is better for everybody to just do a clean break, let her go and do her thing, fill her spot in EXV, and just go from there.
Yeah, she was like a 2022, 2023 Kyrie with somehow less sauce. It was kind of impressive. Um,
Yes,
yeah.
that's mean, but yeah. Um, we kind of
Well, at
do this
least
when
Kyrie had
wrestlers
that
go.
tag match. You know what I mean? The
That's true.
Nana Kyrie tag.
Whenever wrestlers go to America, we do try and talk about kind of how we think they will do. I worry for Mina in that AEW women's division because it's a very promo heavy division. People probably don't want to admit this, but AEW is very much a promo company, and especially that women's division where you're up against Tony Storm doing her promos. They've got um, Mariah May who can cut a
I actually
promo.
disagree. I
They
disagree.
put Julia Hart with her gimmick on TV a lot because of the gimmick. They let Willow talk. They don't really do much with Chris Statlander because she can't talk. Like it is a very promo heavy division where if you want to get consistent TV time, you have to be able to talk. And I don't know if Mina can talk to the level that they want,
I
or do
think
a
it- I
spooky
think
gimmick.
I
Just
think
the
the
other way.
need to talk. Well, she definitely can. Joker Mina is always
No,
in the back pocket.
no.
Um, I actually kind of disagree. I think that it's way more important to be able to talk if you're a guy in AEW. Because the ones that can't or don't have good managers are cooked. Um, I think it's a bit easier if if in the women's division because like I don't know, not easier because I think it's just harder in general to get booked in the women's division. So it's like I don't think I mean Sky Blue can't cut a promo to save her goddamn life and she was booked weekly. Uh and that was, a year ago, but even still now it's like Megan Bain has not cut a promo. She doesn't talk really.
Yeah, but she might go
She's
away after losing to Tony. Like you don't fully know with how they
But
book.
so might Mariah May. Mariah May might leave. Like and
Yeah,
that's
but
losing
I
one of the
just
few people who are actively good at
I
promos.
guess. I would just worry that with Harley Cameron and stuff like that there, who can talk, that Mina will be in the like you get on TV every 6 weeks to have a good match spot where
You know,
Queen
I'm
Yamanaka or
not
something is.
I'm not saying that this should happen, but Mina is the type of wrestler in AEW who would greatly benefit from there being a women's tag team title.
Yeah, I
Because
guess. Yeah.
like I feel like she could tag with Harley or with Mariah or with literally anybody that they pair her with and it'll work and she's a good tag wrestler and she will have consistently something to do. But they don't have that. So I think in that sense there is difficulty because like she's not going to be world champion.
No.
She might get the TBS belt
Eh,
at some point
maybe.
depending on where we go from here.
That's another one as
Um
well. Monet is on TV every week because she can go to promo. But
I don't know.
Mina wouldn't do
I
that.
think she can I think Mercedes is on TV every week because she's incredibly popular and
Well,
just so
that too,
happens
but
to
if
be
she
good at
couldn't talk, I
doing
don't
promos.
think it would be as viable.
Yeah, I don't know.
So
I think we'll see. I don't think she'll do great. Like her limit is definitely champion.
yeah.
Um, maybe Ring of Honor world champion if you want to get technical. That would be her upper limit. But yeah, I don't know. It's sad to see her go, Tamroad and its consequences and all that. But you know, it happens, and I hope she does
Yeah.
well. Obviously, she is good. Like we talk. I haven't been crazy about her past year or so, but she's a good wrestler fundamentally. So I hope she can do well.
All right. Yeah. Well, I was kind of right about Julia not hitting the ground, so I might be right here. Because Julia is so out of character in NXT. Everybody's like, yeah, Stephanie, yeah, Zaria, yeah,
I don't know.
Jordan.
I think that
Oh,
might just
Julia's
be
yeah.
you. A lot of people like Julia.
No, dude, the WWE diva fans absolutely cannot stand that
Okay,
woman.
WWE Diva fans hate everybody that they don't find attractive.
They
Uh,
kind of like Stephanie though. Like they like Stephanie and they
bec-
like Zaria.
okay, have you seen
And
her?
they like Solruka. So I think it is just Julia not connecting. In fairness, though, she's been there for like 3 months, and they have yet to specify what beautiful madness means or why she
That's
is
what I mean.
beautiful
I
madness.
think I
So I
think
do
that
think
like
she's
given
having problems
given what
as
she's
we expect,
doing, she's more popular than she probably should be.
possibly, but I do think she'll get eaten alive on the main roster. So it's
Well,
kind
yeah,
of
everybody does.
yeah,
Name
but
name somebody that isn't in the three-way match that hasn't been eaten alive in the main roster in the past year.
Chelsea Green.
Yeah.
Nia Jax was not eaten alive.
I don't
Tiffany
know. She
Stratton was not eaten alive.
Tiffany Stratton has been eaten alive 7 times
Only for the
over,
last month,
unfortunately.
but that's because of Charlotte's ego. But before that, she was okay.
But generally, I don't think like I think the main roster is very harsh on women in
Uh,
general.
It depends, but I think you're more likely to succeed if you're in the Chelsea Green mold than Julia.
And that
She's probably going to get
sucks.
stuck in the Shayna
That
Baszler
sucks so
spot
bad.
for wrestling on main event. But anyway, that's not what this show is about. News for Stardom beyond Mina Shirakawa leaving. There are multiple injuries to discuss. Momo Watanabe hurt her ankle again. She hurt it in AEW, wrestled the Okinawa dates, is now injured again. Not the only one, because Natsupoi came back for the T-Heart show and is now injured. Saki Kashima has been missing for a while due to illness, which I did misattribute. Is that the word? But I did say she was injured, but she's
Yeah,
actually just sick. Yeah, there's a couple of injuries now in Stardom. You've got, what is it, Matoi,
Matoya,
Natsupoi, uh,
Momo,
Kotatsu,
Kotatsu, Ami is still out.
Amisore, Xena. Yeah,
Xena,
it's
yeah.
a
There's I
few
think one or
people
two more.
hurting. Starlight Kid obviously is the big one, falling
Kid.
apart.
Ida
Yeah,
Ida like came back early, but she didn't get rehurt, which is good.
yeah.
Um, I saw
So
that surgery mark on her arm.
that's
She
so
was supposed to
weird.
have
Why does she have a
surgery.
surgery mark on her hand still? Like, and she's still
I don't know.
wrestling.
Unless it's like a
Um,
weird tattoo.
yeah,
She
could be.
decided to get.
Beyond that, then they announced that another match for Yokohama Arena. Azumi will challenge for the World of Stardom Championship for the first time in her career. This is the first red or white belt match Azumi is ever getting. It is at the Yokohama Arena against Starlight Kid.
Should
So
have
this
been
is,
Ruaka.
yeah,
I'm
this is
kidding. I'm fucking pumped. This is
yeah,
awesome.
no, obviously. This is everything you could have, I guess, predicted for Kid, because they like to go with these like rivalry things for the white belt, and there's no bigger rivalry for Kid than her lifelong thing with Azumi. So this always felt like a natural fit for Yokohama Arena, and it's gonna be interesting to see how they do. They obviously haven't wrestled each other in a long time. Starlight Kid is now a babyface. Azumi has kind of shifted over the past year or two, so this will likely be a lot different than the last time we saw them go one on one.
Yeah, well, I mean, the last time we saw them go 1-0, um, they did an all-together match, but
Oh shit, yeah, that was just a spot fest.
and that was good. Like, but yeah, I'm interested in what we get here. It, I don't know. I have worried about the Azumi Kid pairing because it does feel like it is bound to hit diminishing returns, and I think that
Hmm.
definitely happened in their second, not second. It was like their 50th, but in the last high speed title match they had for Azumi's record, if you remember. I felt like that was the weakest of a lot of their matches, frankly. Um, damn, the one of the weakest of a lot of their matches because it just felt like they were like just doing it because like they were trying to recapture the fire. And I feel like
Yeah,
now they have to light a new one with this match for it to be great. And if they do, I expect it to be absolutely phenomenal. You know what I mean? But if
yeah,
they just kind of like recycle old tricks, could be a problem. Um, but yeah, I'm excited. I'm happy. I think this match is the right one to do. I think the only alternative would have been Hazuki, and for Yokohama, and she's in the tag title match, so that obviously wasn't going to happen. And the alternative would have been like Hanan, who was also in the tag title match, so
yes.
also wouldn't have happened. So like I think Azumi is the most obvious of the bunch to get this match, and I'm happy about it.
All right,
It's Azumi getting a
good.
single style match that's not the high speed belt. It's
Um,
incredible.
we have had the first match announced for
So
Natsu
I will say
Sayori's 10th
very
anniversary.
quickly, uh, Azumi losing 4 singles title matches this year in the
Incredible,
first 6 months, not good.
pretty incredible.
Not good.
We have the first match for the Natsu Sayori 10th anniversary show. This is an Ota Award. It is a beginning tag match. We are the original members. Aiba Aina and Maika Ozaki will take on Yuna Manase and Tai Honma, with Naho Tsunoda as the referee. This
Wait,
probably
Naho
doesn't.
Kakuta, isn't it? Or now Kakuta?
Is it now Kakuta?
I thought so.
Oh, it says Naho
Naho
Tsunoda,
Kakuta.
but that would make sense.
I
Now
might be
Kakuta.
crazy. I don't know.
Now Kakuta makes sense. She was the one in TJPW, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. What?
Yes. Okay. Well, either way, that is for a very deep section of fans because when Beginning was first around, this was a DVD only company. So most people will not know what an Aiba Aina even is,
No,
and
most
that is
people
totally
will
valid.
because she is a very popular idol who is the MC for like half of the Stardom shows.
Yeah, but most people don't internalize that. Come on now.
Also, it is now Cocked. Just saying.
Okay, yeah, no,
Um,
that makes sense.
but yeah, I mean, like I don't know, Aina Aiba has a very recognizable face as a MC and just like a
True.
announcer. So you probably have seen her before. Not in the ring though, because it's been a long time since she wrestled. So
Yes.
that'll be interesting.
And Taro Okada was very geeked because he is a geek.
Oh yeah,
But
because Aina Aiba is an idol for like is an announcer and an idol for Bushiroad.
yes,
Yeah,
um,
so that's why
we have
Taro's a big fan of hers.
3 shows to review. Stomping presents New Blood 20, a must-have app for pro wrestling fans in the Shinagawa Intercity Hall in front of 296 people. We opened with Rina beating Anna Kanaya in 10 minutes with a diving
Damn, it's
double
been a
knee drop.
long week. I forgot New Blood happened and I watched it.
Yes. This was a good match. Rina is
Good.
good.
Yeah.
Anne, I have a lot of praise for Anne to
Ane
save.
also good. Yeah.
Yes. We then had Tomoka Inaba and Akira beating Yuria and Sayaka Kurara. Inaba beat Yuria in 12 minutes with the just face lock.
Good.
Um, parts with Yuria and Akira were very good. They're very
Mm.
natural at wrestling each other.
Yuri's
And
gotten
Tomoka
a lot
Inaba
better.
is a beast. Yes, Yuria has shown out this week.
Yeah.
Hanan and Saida beat Kyoto Yoneyama and Rian. Saida pinned Rian in 9.5 minutes with a lariat. This was a good
Notably
match.
good, I would
Yeah,
say. Slightly above
Rian
most of the
Rian
other
is doing the
matches.
thing.
Yeah.
She's doing the thing.
I respect you, Rian.
Um, Tai Hanma and Kakeru Sakaguchi beat Rana Yagami and Hina. Tai pinned Rana in 11, under 11 minutes with a tie rock. This was kind of there. There was
Yeah, it was all
some
right.
good stuff, but it was, very unremarkable.
I
We
forgot it
had a
happened.
yeah, no,
And I
same.
like Kakeru Sakaguchi. So like
Yeah,
I would have remembered it.
she's good. We had a Regina de Wave Championship preliminary match. Ruaka Saikamatani and Azusa Inaba of Hate beat Hanoka, Kohaku, and Sakuran when Ruaka pinned
You keep
Hanoka.
saying that.
What?
It was Saran.
Saran, oh my god. Sorry. Ruaka pinned Hanoka in 12 minutes with a freezer bomb. This is a good match. I really
Mm,
liked
good.
Saran whenever she was in there.
Yeah,
She's very good.
I agree. Another like absurdly young, great wrestler in the Joshi scene.
She's a free agent.
Yeah,
She's
pretty
available
much.
to whoever. Because they signed Grizzly, but not her.
Who did?
Wave announced that they signed Grizzly today,
Oh,
and they changed her name again. This is her third name since debuting.
to what? What's her name?
Like Goda Asuka or something. When she debuted,
Grizzly
she
was
was
better.
Asuka Fujitaki. Then she was Grizzly Fujitaki, and now she's back to Asuka with a different prefix, I think. So
That
yeah,
stinks.
they did not sign Saran, who, to my knowledge, is still a freelancer, unless I missed it.
Grizzly's such a good name.
I
But yeah.
know. It's very upsetting. Tam Nakano beat Misa Kagura into sort of 15 minutes with a tiger suplex hold. This was everything you kind of expect from a Tam match. Lots of slaps, lots of stiff hits, good
It
stuff.
was the Unagi match, but with a better wrestler. So
Yes.
like it was
I
good. Like
enjoyed it
it was
for what it
better.
was. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a bit slow paced though. That's kind of the only
That's
problem
Tam.
Tam has sometimes. Yeah. But it was good. And then Hanako and Waka beat Unimizumori and Aya Sakura. Hanako beat Aya in just under 18 minutes with the egret. Waka Tsukiyama turning into an MVP for New Blood only is really funny to me because her and Aya were doing really good stuff in this, like
Yeah,
throughout the
that's good.
match. And her and Unimon was good. And I was just like, where is this wrestler in all of the EXV tags? Um,
Aya was
yeah,
also just great in general, and she is
dude,
great
Aya
in general.
rocks. Yeah,
So yeah.
she's awesome. Hanako, you
Did
exist.
all right. She did all right.
She's doing better lately. I don't
Mm.
I don't actively think she's boring anymore. So, we're getting somewhere.
I still think she's pretty actively boring, but she isn't
Not
she
as
isn't
much.
bad. She isn't
Yeah.
she isn't like uh she has a lot fewer like actively bad performances.
Yes, I would
in the
agree.
past like month or two,
We then move
probably
on
month
to
in the last month.
Stardom in Tokorozawa on the 29th of March. This was in front of 453 fans. In the opener, Mina Shirakawa and Maika beat Rian and Yuria Hime. Mina pinned Yuria in 11 and a half, or no, she submit her with a figure four leg lock, 11 and a half minutes. This was really good. This was the Mina that hasn't shown up in Stardom in a long time. She was given the works to these two. She was like really beating the crap out of Yuria, really getting the crowd behind her. I thought Yuria did really well firing back. Rian, whenever she was called upon, I thought did good comebacks as well.
Mm.
And this was just like so much better than you would probably expect from an opener to a house show.
Yeah, that was good.
Okay.
I didn't think it was like all that, but that was good.
All right. Arena beat Akira in just under 10 minutes for the hydrangea. I did not check that one out. Um, Hanako and Waka beat Miyu Amasaki and Ane in just under 10 minutes. Hanako pinned Ane in 10 minutes with a lariat. We then had
The arena match was good, and go on.
okay. Wasn't sure if you'd watched it.
I did.
Unimizumori, Ayasakura, and Sayaka Kurara beat Koguma, Hazuki, and Momokogo. Unimon beat Momokogo in 9 minutes with a Supergirl splash pin. That's
Shouts out
presumably
Colt
to
Cabana. Boom boom.
CM Punk.
Well,
Unimon is
yeah,
probably in line for the high speed belt, so that's why she beat Kogo because she's
yeah.
kind of the
She's
high speed one.
probably winning it. Uh,
Yeah,
at Yokohama,
I don't know. Mayu
unless they do
Itani,
something with May and Suzu.
Mayu teamed with Hanan and Saida to beat Natsuko Tora, Konami, and Ruaka. Mayu actually got the win for her team over Ruaka with a moonsault. I can't remember the last time she actively won a match for Stars, so that's
Yeah, she put in some work this past weekend. I mean,
wow.
work. I work in quotations, but she was
Not
like,
like the Mina works, but work.
uh, I think Mayu could do the Mina works in her sleep, frankly.
Yeah,
But
but she
no,
isn't.
I
So
yeah, she doesn't. She actively chooses not to. But no, I thought that she like actually like got in the match because like that's the thing with stars is that sometimes like one of the members just can't be asked that day and gets in the
yeah,
ring for 10 seconds and then tags out, and that's
that's
all you
beast.
see of them. And that's been Mayu a lot in recent times. But yeah, I watched her and Ruaka do some good stuff, and then on the next day I watched her and Yuria do good stuff.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay. Our next match is Rani Agami, Tomoka Inaba, Lady C, and Hina beating Tabata, Suzu Suzuki, Azumi, and Mei Sarah. Rana beat Tabata with a buzzsaw kick in just sort of 13 minutes for the win.
because May
Despite this
Sarah
being
and
a
Suzu started beefing
yes,
so hard.
despite this being a preview for Hina versus Tabata, they barely interacted. It was actually a lot of Rana and Tabata. It was pretty
Yeah.
good. I actually liked seeing Rana go up against a Lucha kind of trainee. And yeah, they did the obligatory May Sarah Suzu not getting along spot.
It's
So
wild that they found a way for me to be not interested in Neo Genesis tags.
wow, that's harsh on Tabata. That's crazy.
Not top. What the fuck are you talking about?
No, I knew what you meant. Yeah, no, that was good stuff though. So I don't know what you're
Yeah, it
complaining
was
about.
alright.
Was this one where Suzu just like chilled on the outside on the steps for like 5 minutes and was like, you guys will be all right? Or was that
Yeah,
the
and
next day?
then oh fuck, they blend together, man.
They do, but there was one of the tag matches where Suzu literally was just chilling on the steps instead of being on the apron for her team, and I was like, and they zoomed in on her and everything, so she was,
I want to say that that was this match, but
yeah,
also, oh wait, no, the next match is when they kind of reconciled afterwards.
that's true, but maybe they did it here too. I will know based on the pictures of the venue. I hope. Because there was steps right
Like I
next to the
said,
ring.
it
Oh
was
yeah, I
well
think it was
blurred.
this show. Yeah, because the
Yeah,
stage leads right into the ring, so the steps would have been right there. But yeah, Suzu was just like chilling on the outside, and despite them losing, Azumi said, "Hey guys, I have something to say tomorrow," which is always that's my favorite wrestling thing. Not
it's like all
shitting on
right.
Stardom here. My favorite wrestling thing is I have something to address next week on Raw, and you're like,
You're
why? Why do you
addressing
do
us
it?
now. Just say it. Just say it.
Yeah, just say it.
You're addressing us.
That's what Scott does to me all the time. He's like, "I will tell you next week on Friday Night SmackDown," and I'm like, "Just tell me now. I'm talking to you
We're
now."
talking. Yeah.
Yeah. say it now, but yeah, no, he doesn't. So yeah, that was that match. Our main event was Saori Anou and Tam Nakano beating Azusa Inaba and Saya Kamatani. Anou pinned Inaba in just under 14 minutes with the special pottering. This was a
I am
very
so
good
over
match.
Tam and Saya previews. I'm done.
Can we get Saori
Sorry.
Anou versus Saya Kamatani?
Yeah,
Because that was
you
very
you
good.
mentioned that and I realized, oh, that's where I forgot that like after somebody holds the white belt, they just automatically move up. So
Yeah,
so all of these questions of like, oh, who can challenge Saya? It's Soriano. Soriano's going to challenge
I
Saya
hope so.
after Tam
Because
loses.
they kicked ass. Also, Anou and Azusa for the finishing stretch was really, really good. This
Yeah,
was
I really liked Ano and Azusa, but
yeah.
I can't
Yeah, no,
I
that's
can't
fair.
anymore.
No, I mean, look, we reached the same point with Tommy Suri. Remember they previewed that every week
Yeah,
for
and
like
I
3 months?
loved that pairing. And this pairing
Yeah,
is like good sometimes. And
I mean,
I'm
they're
just
good
like,
all
oh,
the
I can't.
times, but I understand.
That's objectively
Um,
incorrect.
that was that show. Our next show was Stardom in Hachiyoji in front of 438 people on March 30th. Saida and Hazuki won our opener against Hanako and Ane. Ida pinned Ane in just over 10 minutes. I cannot remember what move she did. It just says reverse crab hold. That is a pinfall style.
I watched
Um,
this literally like 12 hours ago, and I don't remember what she did.
oh, I watched it today. It was very good. So
I know, yeah, it was
that's
a
all
good
I know.
match, but I don't remember what the finish was.
Yeah, no, but Ida and Ane were going crazy. Like Ane
Mhm.
is so good already. I am absolutely amazed. Like she can hang with anybody already.
Hazuki was also kicking her head in, which was awesome.
Yeah, that's why I watched this match because I was like, Hazuki with trainees is another level. So yeah, we had fun. I had a fun time. Aya Sakura and Akira beat Rian and Maika in our next match. Aya beat Rian with her kick combo, the cherry blossom and full bloom thing.
Oh
We
yeah,
then,
the kids were at the show.
oh yeah, they
And
smacked Akira.
Micah had a kindergarten fan club or whatever, and she let all of the kids like, you know, beat up on Akira Kurigane, and the one little boy was not clued in that wrestling is fake and just fucking sucker punched her
Oh my
like
god.
so hard, and I was like, "Holy fuck, dude!" Homegirl's probably bruised to shit. It's like
Yeah,
he punched her on like the thigh, you know what I mean? But he just fucking like swung like big overhead swing. I was like, "That's insane." Yeah, that
beast.
happened.
Um, we then had Tomoka Inaba and Lady C beat Momo Kogo and Hanan. Inaba pinned Kogo with the one hit kill Tomoka kick, just under 10 minutes.
I thought
Tabata
that
and
was a
Shaq.
good match.
Oh yeah, that's good. I mean, it looks good in fairness. Tabata and Saka Carrara beat Rani Agami and Hina. Tabata actually pinned Hina with the Pulpo Guerrero in 11.5 minutes. So they did preview the match this time. Uh,
Yes, and it was
has
a bit weaker.
Carrara actually won a match via like herself since winning the Cinderella? She's been
I don't
used
think so.
very strange because she just kind of is there in a lot
I
of
think
time.
this. I think the company does not like tournaments. I think they have like a general disdain for tournaments.
Maybe
Like
I wouldn't
like
go that
not
far.
like an active one, but just like a subconscious like, oh,
Yeah,
whatever. Let's
possibly
pretend that didn't happen.
because like every time they book somebody to win a tournament, they just kind of all right, screw you. I remember Hanan just taking fall after the Ano
Hmm.
match, and you're like, why would you do this? And yeah, now Carrara is just kind of there, but yeah, I don't know, it's fine.
Who even won last year's 5 star?
Maika,
I know.
yes. Koguma and Mai Utani beat Yuna
I thought it was
Mizumori
Tam.
and Yuria Hime in 13 minutes. Jesus Christ. Koguma
They
pinned
were doing
Yuria with the 100% 20% schoolboy.
they were doing so many bits, Alex. They wrestled for maybe 4.
That's incredible.
Because yeah, like Mayu kidnapped a child. Used her as
Right.
used her as a human shield. Koguma used a different child as a human shield. Um, but yeah, it was mostly just all stars. Like Mayu was beating the fuck out of Yuria most of the match. Um, they did the wheelbarrow splash thing that they do, and
Mhm.
Mayu just kind of like sat there for a while before barreling her. It was a very funny gif on Twitter. Um, but yeah, it was a good match. Like I liked it.
Okay. That's good.
Fun time.
Um, we had Konami and Saya Kamatani beat Waka Tsukiyama and Mina Shirakawa. Konami beat Waka in just under 13 minutes with a triangle lancer to tap her out. I actually had high hopes for this one, but it ended up being a lot of Waka and not
Yeah, no,
much
I
of
didn't. I
Kamatani
didn't
versus
watch
Mina.
it because this just doesn't. Yeah, for me, I watched the finish and the post match, but
Yeah.
I started like scrolling through it and I was like, oh yeah, this doesn't. It's for me.
Yeah, it was a very strange one because I thought they would do like a big Saya Mina blow off, but they just did a lot of Waka, and Waka Konami especially, which is not fun, even on a good day. So yeah, this ended up really disappointing because they didn't do enough, nearly enough with Saya Kamatani.
Yeah, I agree.
Um, Kamatani kind of cut a promo after where she put over Mina begrudgingly in the "You're going away" style, considering they had that legendary white belt match together.
Saya loves
Um,
doing this thing where she like does faux caring things, but like very like specific. Where she's like, oh wow, I'm really gonna miss wrestling you. You think I was gonna say that? You think I would really say that? And then Mina made fun of her by doing it back to her. And then they did the weird stare
Crazy.
down thing, and I was like, ah, yeah, that, yeah.
Well, fun.
Hmm.
Um, we then had Suzu Suzuki, Mio Masaki, Mei Seira, and Azumi beat Natsuko Tora, Raka, Rina, and Azusa Inaba. Suzu pinned Natsuko Tora after 12 minutes with a tequila shot, or at least what was meant to be
Tequila.
a tequila shot, to get the win for her team. They briefly teased a descent with Suzu and Mei. They did a spot where Mei hit Suzu and Suzu tossed her out of the ring. But at the end, they got back on the same page. They teased another miscommunication spot, but Mei Seira ended up hitting Natsuko and not Suzu, and that sets Suzu up for the win and potentially blows off that storyline. So,
What if we're just Fraxium? What if
yeah,
we just
maybe.
Fraxium this shit?
Why not?
I don't expect that to be the case, but
I have no
um,
idea. But they seem to be on the same
honestly,
page now.
the ideal would be maybe not the ideal because Suzu could use some new paint, frankly.
Yeah.
Um, but the ideal would probably be Oedo Tai or damn, my brain's fried. Would be Hate challenging Neo Genesis to a loser leaves faction match and Momo losing.
Yeah, but where would they do that? Because there's only two,
Uh,
three of them not booked for
well,
Yokohama.
no, not Yokohama Arena. They usually do that in the summer. They usually do like a faction
Yeah, I suppose they
split
do
match
fill
in like
the summer with that.
May, June.
Yeah.
So I could see them doing that. Also, like I just most of these factions need to disband at this point.
Well, I
If
think
I'm
we're gonna get
being
a
real,
shake up when Tam retires.
like because like
I don't
Cosmic
know.
Angels, I get why it's a thing, but also like half these wrestlers could be doing more if Tam's not here. Like it just doesn't make
Yeah, well,
sense why they're
without
all
Tam and Mina, you're
here.
gonna have to change up something.
Yeah,
That's kind of what I would
EXV.
think.
Um, I feel like Stars needs a shake up, even if Mayu does stay. I think that Stars needs a shake up because it just doesn't feel like anybody really wants to be there anymore. Like it feels like every like they are constantly waiting for something to like change. It was going to be Matoy, but then Matoy got hurt. So they're
Mm.
constantly waiting for like something to happen amongst stars, and it just never does. So I feel like they just need to like bite the bullet and do something there. Um, and yeah, Suzu's maybe leaving Neo Genesis, maybe not now since they're all hunky dory again. So I don't know. I think the entire faction layout should probably be overhauled, except for like God's Eye. God's Eye's fine. They could use a number two, but Ami's coming back and will probably be that number two. So you know, yeah.
Well, yeah, I would imagine the factions do change up anyway, with Tam likely being the one to retire and not Saya, and then Mina leaving does leave an opening in EXV, either to go away or to change its name, because EXV was kind of meant to be Mina and
I,
Maika and their worlds colliding.
hilariously, I said it as soon as the faction was named. I was like, well, one of them better not fucking leave.
Yeah,
Here we are, a year later.
yeah. Well, she got that dual contract. She got that AWID deal, So it is what
You know,
Here we are.
she doesn't have a dual contract. She's just gone.
It was a dual contract. Now it's not
Yeah,
AWID. Yeah.
it was until she
But that is all to review. I know we didn't watch all of that, but you know,
I watched
three
most of it,
shows, 3 shows is tough. Um,
which is rare. It's rare for me to watch most of these house
that is
shows
true.
when there's 3 of them, especially. But I think I only missed like 2 matches.
That's pretty beast. Now we have an interesting week coming up because we have a show tomorrow that I don't know if we should dig super deep
It'd
into
be
or if
really
we should just
funny if
kind of.
Suzu turned on May tonight and we
I
just talked about
know.
that for nothing.
Yeah. Um, let's see. We have a Korakuen. It's one of the Stardom Niter Korakuens. They seem to only do those now instead of like regular Korakuens, and I guess it's just to get people in the door. As I always say, the Niter brand is just to kind of get a different audience. So I don't hate it. Now we
Yeah,
have
I
a
think
match
it's
of
just like,
zero.
oh wow,
Yeah.
I didn't realize they have a second nighter this month.
Oh,
They have it
interesting.
3 days before Queendom.
All right. Yeah, that'll be preview tag central. Um, yeah, we have a match 0. It is Unimizumori versus Ane versus Fukigen Death. Incredible. Why isn't this on the main card? Why are you putting the best match of the show on the pre-show? What is happening?
Yeah, make room for big
Um,
techs.
well, yeah. All right. We kick off the show then with Wakaskama, Hanako, and Rian versus Konami, Tekla, and Erina.
I
That
am
is
not watching this.
that is a win for Hate, and then afterwards Tekla is going to put a promo on Taro Okada, I would assume.
Not watching it.
Okay. Natsupoi. No, this is wrong.
No, that's right.
Right.
Oh, wait,
She's
she's
injured.
hurt. Yeah,
Stardom's own.
they must have changed it.
Yeah. Well, they didn't change
Did
on
they
the
announce it?
match card place. They did on
Did
the
they announce that
news,
she was
but
hurt?
not. Yes, they did.
Yeah,
I
okay.
cut it off. Anyway, let's see.
Stars and versus who's
Okay,
that?
so it. Oh, so this match is gone entirely, and it is now a 10. No, it's not.
No,
Okay,
it's not gone.
so
It's not gone entirely.
it is now Hanan and Saida and Yuria versus Aya, Sakurai, and
And
Akira.
Akira Kuragane. Yeah.
Right, so they've switched it around pretty heavily there.
And then Ida got taken out of that one. Oh, and Sakashima did too. So that's what it was. So the 10-woman
Right.
tag that
Yes,
we're
is an
about to talk
8-woman.
about is a 8-woman, and
Yeah.
Ida is now with Hanan.
Okay, that checks out. Okay, so that would be a win for Wingori.
Yeah, so it's Hanan,
Yeah.
Ida, and Yuria, right?
Yeah, the one they like.
Against against Young Kozen and Akira.
Okay,
So
cool.
yeah, I was thinking Lingori wins that definitely.
All right, then it is Mayu, Hazuki, Koguma, and Momokogo versus Siri, Lady C, Tomoki Inaba, and Rani Agami. That is a preview, obviously, of Mayu versus Siri. Is the 10,000th God's Eye versus Stars tag this year. Should be fine. You know, I'm sure they'll
Yeah,
do good stuff, but it's the stuff we've seen over and over again. So very hard to really get into it.
more or
Uh,
less. I would
we have
say
a future,
Stars wins.
yeah, hopefully. We have a future of Stardom Championship match. Hina defends against Tabata. Hina probably retains here. They might do Rana challenging because she beat Tabata in the tag. That would be fun. Hina versus
Hmm.
Rana. So maybe
Rana could really challenge for either of the undercard belts because
she
she
could.
has wins.
Yes, they've started to get behind Rana a little bit. So, but yeah, probably Hina.
Yeah.
We have a special singles match: Maika versus Mina Shirakawa. Um, I don't think this has a finish. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say Tekla gets a
I'm
DQ
gonna put.
because Mina
You're
almost
right.
definitely is not allowed to lose, and Maika is not going to lose either. So I think they will do a non-finish, and then maybe Maika and Mina like beat Tekla up and stand tall.
Oh, maybe Himika comes in and throws a
Oh yeah,
lariat,
because Himeka's
and
there. She's on
she's on
commentary.
commentary. Her,
Yeah, let's do
to be
it.
fair, her best friend is leaving the country, so it makes sense.
Yeah, let's do it. My Himeka hitting that jumbo lariat, announcing her return, and joining EXV.
Oh
Um,
man, that would be so stupid, but also would sort out the EXP problem.
Yeah, honestly. So yeah, let's do it. Let's get it.
Would also give
Even
Micah a better tag partner than Hanako at least. Like,
that
I
is
know
true.
you aren't too fond of Hameka, but Micah
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Mahime was definitely a
Yes,
upgrade
yes.
from this.
Um, our next match is Azumi, Meisera, Miyu Misaki, and Suzuki versus Sayaka Mitani, Atsuko Tora, Roka, and Azusa Inaba. Um, yeah, I don't really know what we're doing there because we just ran this.
Yeah, so I think this is probably a quote unquote Saya's retirement road match against Zoom
Oh,
Queen's Quest.
yeah, I guess.
Like, I think that's probably how it pairs. Or, like I said, it's possible that this is where like Suzu turns, or that like a hate versus Neo Genesis gimmick
Mhm,
begins. One of the two depends on if we are continuing the Suzu thing. If the Suzu thing's a fake out of her being like, yeah, let's, which it feels like it is. And again, this has already happened, so if you're listening to this, it doesn't really matter. Um,
mhm,
but it did kind of feel like a bit like, yeah, you know what? Let's go for the tag belts. We got this. We don't got to fight anymore. I feel like it's such a obvious fake out that it's very likely that Suzu just turns. Especially since Momo's out for an unknown period of time, Hate likes to have bodies.
mhm.
Uh, so turning Suzu potentially earlier than the plan, um, could make sense. But yeah, otherwise I think it's just Azumi and Saya.
Yeah, I guess. That would be good. And I guess you can continue the Suzume stuff if they like team up and you're like, yay, we really are back on the same page. Because I don't know if they split because if May is still high speed champion, she probably defends at Yokohama, so they wouldn't be able to do a Suzu match then. And I would imagine they want to do a singles match if they do blow it off. So I think they keep them together for now.
Maybe Suzu wins the high speed belt.
I mean, sure, why the hell not?
Blowing off a feud in a 10-minute time limit 2 out of 3 falls match.
Yeah. Um,
God, that belt sucks. I don't
the
like that.
The main event then is Tam Nakano versus Saori Anou in a special singles match. Um, this is a match we always thought we would get for like a white or red belt, but retirement roads call for special circumstances.
I remember when we thought that Anna was gonna turn.
Yeah, yeah, and she was loyal. Her and Natsupoi fought and liked each other again. Um, I suspect Ano might win. I think Tam loves Saori Anou and would happily put her over.
She
And
should,
credit
but I
to
don't think she
Tam,
will.
she has been putting over her friends for a while now, so I think she'll do it. I think she'll stare at the lights.
I don't think I see that.
Really?
I think Tam wins, yeah.
I guess. I have no idea with Tam, but I could see her putting over her friend.
I mean, it
Um,
would be nice, and Soriano could use some momentum, uh,
yes,
since
especially if
she's,
she picks up the mantle and
yeah, she's the
Saya have
healthy
it.
potential red belt challenger coming out of Cosmic Angels.
Yeah. But that's the Korakuen. I don't want to stick on it too much because it will have happened by the time this goes up. But they don't have a card for the Anjo show on the 6th, so they're probably
Correct.
waiting until tomorrow to announce that. I would imagine they do some form of Tam versus Mina. I think that's Mina's last show, and it is Tam's last time in Anjo. They said that streamers are going to be allowed
Her
for both of
hometown.
them. So
Mhm.
yeah, I would imagine they do Mina versus Tam in some form on that show. But otherwise, I have no idea.
It would either be Mina and Tam, or it'll be like Mina versus Tam, or it'll be like Mina and Tam versus Tekla and Saya.
Oh, maybe.
I think that sounds like a match they would
Should get
run.
Unagi.
That would be cool. I don't like
Yeah.
Unagi much, but I think reuniting the three, even though she lose a loser leave Stardom match this
Yeah,
year.
and then she showed up like a week later, so it's
Yeah,
fine.
two people lost a
Anyway,
loser leave Stardom match, and then they both came back. Like, not even came
that's
back, just
pro
were.
wrestling, man. That
Yeah.
is pro
No, but
wrestling
like
to a T.
within, like, not even like they didn't even wait like 6 months. It's been like a
Oh
couple,
yeah, yeah, no, for sure.
or 5 minutes.
Um, I'm tired, as you can tell. That is our show because there's nothing else to talk about for Stardom. They haven't got any other shows. And we already looked at the Wave participation, so that's where
Yeah,
we're at.
it is. Yes.
We will be back next week, of course, to discuss everything. Next week is kind of loaded because Stardom has 3 shows, and they have 4 shows, and they are taking part in like 4 other companies. And then Marigold has a few shows, so yeah, it's gonna be kind of chaotic next week. Then we have America, which is a whole another ball game to deal with. But yeah, we're getting there. We're almost at All Star Grand Queendom, and the goodbye for Tam or Saya.
Yowie wowie.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Oh, hi Scott. He's
Yeah.
never
No.
gonna listen to this, but yeah, he sent a
Correct.
text.
Yeah. We're making some headway.
Mhm.
A lot of American stuff. A lot of when you look at the Stardom schedule right now, it's
Oh,
just all
dude,
blue,
so much blue. Texas
which means
Hold'em,
like matches elsewhere.
Bloodsport, Spark Joshi, Dragon Gate, Fortune Dream. Lady C isn't allowed because she's on Fortune Dream. She's not allowed in America. And then 2 American shows.
Also, like crazy that they're just doing like a Sakai stint in a Hamamatsu match
Yeah,
next weekend.
you gotta love touring.
Yeah, it
Gotta
just
love
feels
it.
like a weird time to like go on tour down
Yeah, well, yeah,
down
but
yonder or
it's
out
fine.
west rather.
This is all right. That is our show. So we'll be back next week, and we will talk about everything that has happened, including this Corkin show tomorrow or today, depending on when you listen to this. Maybe it was yesterday. Who knows? Some of
Probably
you guys
yesterday.
listen late. Um, but yeah, that is time to close the show. Unless you have any closing remarks.
Uh,
You're also tired. It's great.
Sometimes it snows in April. Sometimes I
Yeah,
feel so bad. And sometimes you lie in April and you're the girl you're in love with dies.
you, yeah. I like
It's
where
not.
you ended up there, but you didn't get it very well.
Yeah, I don't sugar. Yeah, no. I'm gonna stick with the Prince one. Sometimes it snows in April. Let's see if it snows this month, guys.
Okay. I did pop for the Line April reference though.
Yeah.
Top notch. But
I only allow
uh
myself to watch that show in April.
that's kind of weird. I would never watch it again. I won't lie to you. I watched
Oh
it
yeah,
once and I was like, nah,
I never finished it.
I'm out. Never finished.
I never finished it because I watched the first like 14 episodes and I was like,
Yeah,
oh, I see where this is going. I don't think I
yeah.
could do it. And then I didn't finish it by the end of April, so I was like, well,
Oh, you should, because she leaves him a note and it's or a
yeah,
letter, and
yeah.
it's crazy. But yeah, all right. It is. I've said this 5 times. It's time to close the show. If you want to stand, you may stand. If you want to sit, you may sit. Believe today, shine tomorrow. You decide what you believe in.
Shine forever, Stardom Quest Gold. 以上。
Yo.